so much for coming out on a Saturday, cold, chilly morning. My name is Lorie Woodruff. We got some great information to share with you this morning, and hopefully it will go and resonate so that you can share it with your family and friends later today. Now, so today, the seminar, I titled it, How to Change Your Credit, Your Life, and Your Money in 30 Days. You can do it, of course, within 30 days if you want to. If you want to. And when I take a look and see, of course, because that's the creative side of me, I'm trying to see what can we do to do a makeover. Well, let's take a look at what the definition of makeover is. Webster's Dictionary calls it a complete transformation or remodeling of something. And the best thing I like is the overall treatment to improve appearance or change image. So we're not talking exterior here. We're talking, of course, on the inside. What are we going to do from the inside to change? The one thing I can give you is a huge box with you in the middle. So in order for you to make this change, what do you have to do? Get outside the box. Get unique, do something different. And the best thing I do is everything that I think of doing, because I wake up at 7. I have to go the same route to work. You do everything the same because that's what you're used to doing. That's what you're comfortable doing. I'm going to do a credit makeover today. So that means anything that you have been doing in the past, all bets are off. I'm going to do things a little bit different. And I guarantee you, if you walk that walk, you'll see a difference in your credit. You don't have to accept where you are right now. Everybody in here has a 700 credit score. I know you're taking the information back and giving it to other people. But we want to be honest with ourselves to know, what are we doing to get outside the box? Is it just because it's comfortable? Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I've done it just because it is comfortable. But we need to get outside the box. So that's going to be our makeover. We've come through the storm, the bubble burst, and now we are here where we are right now. Some people are saying it's the toughest financial era since the Greatest Depression. Depends who you talk to. A lot of people are having hard times. And I work with many clients. There's some realtors in the room also can attest. We work with a lot of clients. 50%, if not more, of my business are short sales. I'm helping homeowners get through a tough transaction. It's very emotional. I've gone through two personally myself. So I know the detachment is an issue. So we're going through a lot of employment issues with folks and also with losing homes. The average U.S. debt is close to $20,000. That does not include mortgages. That's credit cards, unsecured loans. And also 25% of Americans have no savings. 25%. And if you take a look into 50% have no retirement, years ago, we backtrack about 30 years ago, if many who are retired right now would have thought, you know what, when I retire, I'm going to stop and then get back into working at Walmart. I see more seniors working at Walmart now than ever before. And I don't like that, but I know it's a reality of where we are right now, where things have to change on that capacity as far as saving more and budgeting more to make sure we're moving forward. Make sense? Also, 90% of us have no will, trust, or power of attorney, and every 3 seconds an identity is stolen. So things are happening, and also we have 43 million people that have a 599 credit score or lower. Think about it, how many people do not have their personal affairs in order? And you don't have to raise your hand on this one, but think about the questions on this one. How many do have less than perfect credit? How many do not protect their identification? And how many have debt and no idea how to pay it? But Stephen, I want to ask you, on a weekly basis, when you have clients call you and they want to buy a house, they're excited, what's the ratio of that person actually getting a home loan from that phone call? Like out of
25% of the people are not prepared.
25% are not prepared.
And that's of the people that have the gumption to pick up the phone and contact the realtor. But 25% of the people are not prepared to move forward. It's based simply on their credit.
Okay, here we are. So it goes back to just getting ready to get ready. What are credit scores? When we talk about credit scores, it's almost a measure of what we're doing. It basically is a measure of what we're doing, for the good, for the bad. And if you take a look at the credit scores, it takes a look at everything that you're doing, basically like a resume. So if you take a look at your employment resume, it says where you've been, who can I call for a reference, and how you've been doing on your job. That's the same way the credit score module is. From 300 to 850. You've got that range of you can keep it low or you can keep it high. All right? Credit scores, of course, on average, for mortgages, what do you need to get a home loan?
Bare minimum, pretty much 620. And then
620.
where you're getting into, I'll call it the less rigorous qualifications, that's 660. Because below 660, we're going to delve deeper into other aspects of your life to make sure it's okay. Because that's what that 660 is telling us, is that they believe that you're more likely to pay back.
Okay. And what's the average credit score?
That I'm looking at these days, most folks are about 650, so they're that more rigorous.
Okay. And
They're still getting loans, but they have to go through a lot more.
in industry standard, to 620 or 640 is actually poor.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We're considering a 650, where people come in to me and go, well, I have a 650, I don't understand why I have to give you all this information. You have to go into all this stuff about it. Well, we don't consider that a good credit score.
Right. But it's enough to get a home loan.
Yes.
And it used to be 580 in some stores. Okay? Now, you can do things the easy way or the hard way. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of information on how things work with the challenging of the information. A lot of times what may happen is we'll take a look at our report because we've already done that as far as we've highlighted our activity, gotten a copy of the credit report, now it's sitting on the dining room table. Now what? Okay, I don't know what to do with it next. So, this is the reason why I wanted to introduce a professional service that helps move that along so that you can move on, continue eating dinner, continue with your family and friends, and then this will help out with the service of getting your credit prepared. Now, a lot of times if you want to do it yourself, it could take a little bit longer. And a lot of times if you're not knowing the laws and the codes, it's going to take you longer. Okay? A little bit of the company that I'm also affiliated with is Credit Restoration, but what they do is challenge that information for us. All right? Has anybody heard of Credit Restoration before? Okay, good. So that's going to be what we're going to talk about as we finish out here. The company here has a 9-year track record, so they're not just here yesterday. All right? The company's here in place to make sure that your credit is restored to the 750, if not better. They have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they have removed to date almost 613,000 negative accounts from people's credit reports. That's a lot of negative accounts. These things do not come back on. They do not come back on. So also they removed over 60,000 public records. So this is talking about the tax liens and the judgments, those kind of things. So a lot of times people have questions of, can I get my credit restored after a short sale? Yes. Can I get my credit restored quickly after a foreclosure? Yep, sure can. And can I get these collections removed off of my credit report? I can say yes to all of that. Now I have been, Chuck can say that as well. Many of my clients have to go through this. Many of you need to introduce this to people because I would say for the rest of my life, I need credit restoration. So take a look at it like it's a vacuum cleaner for the rest of your life that you need to make sure that a service is monitoring your credit at all times. Right? It's not ID protection. It's not that. But what it is the credit protection to make sure that the codes and laws are being upheld. Okay? And we're helping people move forward. And a lot of times we have a lot of questions, so we'll be here afterwards to answer any of the questions about what is credit restoration and how it affects us. How do we need it? Why we need it? Let's go into a little bit about it. If you're about to purchase a home, you need it to help with your scores. If you're about to rent a home, you need it. Now, many of my clients, as I told you, 50% of my business has been short sales. So imagine that client needing to wait 3 years in order to buy again. That's the time period to purchase after a short sale or a foreclosure. Life happens to us all. It has no discrimination on any of us. As I said, I've been through too. And it doesn't make a difference. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward. I still have a home to go to. Next. That's all I have to say is next. So please don't think that it just happens to people and you have to just deal with it. If I have a service in place that can actually help me buy, you understand how much that elevates the spirit, the self-esteem, that I can get back in there and purchase a home sooner than 3 years. Okay? So just to give you something to think about. Now, let me give you a little bit of information about credit restoration. Again, we talked about the stats on the credit scores. Many of us have at least a 599. So 25% of the population, 43 million people have a credit score under 599. Need a 640 at least to purchase a home. There's a big gap there. Many people aren't purchasing because of the credit scores. So here is the cost of a membership. When we take a look at $87 a month, that's a fair cry on anything else that we've been paying as far as any insurances or anything else that we pay, car notes or anything else. Health insurance is more than that, way more than that. We want to make sure that the cost of $87 a month gives you the car, gives you all of the services, no contract involved, and that's it until it's ongoing. Now, if you just felt like Angela has, she has ID protection, and she already has her will, she may not need the membership. Maybe she just needs her credit working. 1 year credit restoration is just $399. Now, many people in the room, do you know what the cost of credit restoration goes for? It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Thousands of dollars, $5,000. I've seen some people get $2,500, and they just don't get the same kind of service that they need. But they can go into the portal themselves and take care of things themselves and take a look at the progress. Typically, if I got to call a 1-800 number and maybe give it a shot that way. But normally the service would cost $499, but at $399, that's it. It's a one-time deal, and you get started as soon as you can. How's that sound? That's easy. I'm not asking for $2,000. Can't do that. And if anything, the money is a satisfaction guarantee. So for those who have credit challenged issues, what have you got to lose? If you have a satisfaction guarantee to reimburse you for something that you paid for that didn't work out for you, what are you going to go back to? Better credit? Right. So that's it there. Now also, when we were talking earlier about the effects of not having things in place when we were in school, $2 of the membership is going towards a youth financial literacy. And that's part of United Credit, so that our kids are now knowing a little bit more about credit than we did. So between the ages of 8 and 18, the children are getting to know a little bit more about credit. And I love that piece about it because it's giving back. It's making sure that others know more than what we did.